So, John, we're talking about this moment in the text and this moment in history. John's just highlighting the text to show us how dramatic this is. The change, this dramatic transition in history between how God is going to be known, going to be followed, going to be trusted in. But we're talking also about there's people all around Jesus that have to go through that transition, have to find how to go through that transition. And human life, our normal lives, have certain moments of transition in which something's not clear on the other side, or we don't know what it will look like until we're there, and we have to find the Lord to get to whatever that is. Can you think of a personal example of transition where the Lord, maybe not set forms, but the Lord himself was able to guide you through an obvious transition in your life?
Yeah, Dave, great question. About 5 years ago or so, or not quite 5 years ago, I started approaching my 60s, getting to the mid 60s, started to think, well, I want to retire probably at 70, and I started hearing things about retirement, and most of what I heard got me really stressed out and confused, like you got to have this many millions of dollars and you can plan on this much health care costs, $240,000 of intensive long-term care. And before you can retire, you have to do this. And so I realized, if I do have to even think about this, I've got to have the Lord. He's got to have it. So I began praying about it, and I felt like I was led to these resources, just kind of those spurious things, fields to graze in, if you will. And they talk more about retirement as a change, as much inside as it is outside. And so I began following that, which I believe was Jesus leading me. And the mindset of going into retirement has to change. You can't just suddenly one day go, oh, I'm on a fixed income now. You have to slow down spending and be a little more frugal, and maybe you don't get two things and you get one. And when you get way down in life, our friend Bonnie Brown used to always say, when you get really old, you don't buy green bananas, because you're not going to ripen,
That's a great line. That's a great line.
So I noticed that the Lord had a completely different way of helping me begin a transition, which I'm in, and I'm following Him. But it's so beautiful because it's efficient, it's time effective. Let me give you an example. I ran into this just in the last few days. I'm kind of semi-literate in the technical era.
Semi?
Internet of Things.
Yeah.
So a lot of my house has different types of different generations of smart bulbs. And I have two of the original smart bulbs by Fate Electronics, and you plug them in and they have a Bluetooth connection with a little application.
Wow.
They go on and off. So one of them is my porch light, and it works like a charm. But now Fate Electronics has kind of been overridden by Google Home Assistant, which is much better, much sharper, much more integrated, another generation. But I have this old bulb that's a second Fate bulb that I had. So yesterday I'm plugging it in, and we're really pressed for time these days. Again, it's starting to get back up, wind back up in life, And I have known this bulb works, but I can't configure it. It won't work with everything. So, but one of the things in the specs of the light is when it screws in, and it comes on blinking when you turn the power on, it's ready to configure. So for the last 6 years, I've been putting this light in to different places, and it doesn't blink, and I can't turn it off and on by smart light, so I just take it out and put another light in.
Right.
Okay, so yesterday I screwed into a bulb in my office, a little utility lamp, and it starts blinking. And it's like, oh great, I don't have time for this. Okay, I've never had time for it. Now I have less time than ever for it. But the fact that light was blinking, I felt like this is the time to do this. you don't know your own schedule. You think your schedule, you don't have time. You have time to do this now.
Right.
So I went and I grabbed my app, and Fate came up on the app, and it said, oh, you got a light there now, huh? Let's turn it on and off. And so it starts working. I'm starting to get, really excited. This is like 2 minutes, and I got another light bulb here that I can turn on and off in the house when I'm not there. It's great.
Fancy.
So, but then it doesn't work with Google Assistant. And like Google Assistant's turning the porch light on and off, but the same bulb in my office, it won't turn it off, okay? So I'm discouraged again. And so I put it away, and then I go to get something a couple minutes later, I turn it on, it starts blinking again. So I go and I get my laptop, and I go on my browser, and I look up the light bulb. And there is a thread like 5 miles long on Reddit about this light bulb. Okay. One guy's like, I have spent a week of my life trying to get this light bulb. Okay. So I'm reading that, and I'm kind of smiling. And at the end of it, he gives like this one thing. He goes, finally, what you have to do is you have to unlink this original app, put the light bulb in, and then link it back up with Google Assistant, and it works. And I did it, and it worked.
Wow.
And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, I realize there are things in my life I don't think I have time for. It's just not time for them at the moment. I hate procrastination. I hear my mom's voice if I put something off, and I get guilt-ridden, But when the Lord leads you through a transition, He's got the timing that you need to be on. He knows what schedule you've got to be on. And to follow Him as central in a transition is to get everything in order in the right pace. Your external circumstances, your finances, then begin to match your internal view of who's really center in life. And that's the beautiful transition I'm in the middle of right now. And I know that the Lord has helped me get to this point, and it's kind of fun at times.
That's funny. It's fun and funny. Thank you, John. Thanks for sharing that.